Good morning, class. I'm here today to talk to you about not only a scientific discovery, but the life of an amazing scientist, Madame Marie Curie. She, along with her husband, made huge progress in the field of radioactivity and in the scientific community in general. Mary was born in Warsaw, Poland, or as it was known back then, it was Russia. She was born to two Polish patriots, one of which, her mother, died when Mary was only 10 years old. At the age of 15, Mary graduated from high school and attended an underground university because Polish universities did not accept women at the time. However, in 1891, she decided to move to Paris, France with her sister and attended the Sorbonne. There, she received her master's degree in physics and in math. She wanted to do lab studies, but she didn't have a lab. So in this search for lab space, she met Pierre Curie. It was love at first sight, and within the year they were married. The next year, Mary was intrigued by two new scientific discoveries, one of which, by a man named Röntgen, was the discovery of rays that passed through both flesh and wood. Another, by the discovery of a man named Becquerel, was the discovery that uranium, in particular, had rays that could travel even when not exposed to sunlight. Mary decided to work more with uranium. In this, she needed an electrometer in order to measure the radioactivity. Luckily, her husband had one acquired one in years past. She used this in order to discover that uranium, the increase in concentration of uranium, actually increased the radioactivity. She also discovered that radioactivity didn't occur outside of atoms, but rather within them, which was a huge deal at the time. Also, she, along with her husband, discovered two new elements, radium and polonium. Polonium, named after her home country, Poland. In this, she, along with her husband and Becquerel were recognized for a Nobel Prize in physics. Tragedy struck, however, in 1906 when Pierre was killed by a freak accident with a horse and buggy. Mary was struck with deep depression, but continued her research and actually took over his professorship with urges from his sister. Years later, she was awarded with another Nobel Prize in chemistry for discovering the two elements, radium and polonium. When World War I struck, she knew that there was only one X-ray machine available to French soldiers. In order to change this, she needed donations from car manufacturers, and also fellow Frenchmen. She helped develop vehicles to transport X-ray machinery to the front line. And in order to actually go to the front line, she learned to drive and to operate the X-ray machinery. She also brought her 17-year-old daughter to help her. After World War I, her health began to deteriorate. And as she wanted more donations and more research to be done in radioactivity, she traveled the world and made countless speeches. She was given countless more awards, and she was recognized across the world. In these donations, she was able to help radioactivity to be researched everywhere, and she raised so much money for it. She dedicated her life to science. However, when she was only 67 in 1934, she succumbed to the same discoveries she made, radioactivity of radium and polonium.